Hello there! Day 23 of the Ewan McGregor-a-thon, and today I will be watching Robots. Little story time. When I was a kid, we had a DVD collection of about 20 films, as I think many people my age had. These films were all animated films, and me and my brother watched them and we cycled through them, and they each lived in our DVD player for about a week or two, and then we switched. And these films were on in the background so often, I probably know them all by heart. That's an exaggeration, but I have seen these films a lot. And the films I'm talking about were like everything Pixar had made up until then. Shrek, Madagascar, Ice Age. And one of those films was Robots. So yeah, I've probably seen this film about 1,000 times. I don't think I can recall every single scene, but the scenes I can recall are pretty detailed. I can remember very specific shots and edits and songs. I did used to see this film in Flemish, the Flemish dub, because a little kid can't read subtitles apparently. So for nostalgia's sake, I was considering watching this film in Flemish again, but then I figured, well, this is a Ewan McGregor-a-thon and that's literally the only reason I'm seeing this film again, so watching a dub probably beats the purpose of hearing Ewan McGregor's silky voice. I don't think it would have mattered that much anyway, because there's one line I can remember. I didn't even know who voiced the main character in Flemish until I read that on the box. The one line I can remember is: ben je nu oud, nieuw of tweedehands, je kan stralen waar je ook van gemaakt bent. Which translates in English to: whether you're old, new or second-hand, you can shine whatever you're made from. And I am very curious to see how literal that quote will appear in the film, or if the translators kind of, went with a loose translation there. So yeah, I am very excited to see this film, especially because, like Pixar films and DreamWorks films, you hear a lot about it still on the internet. There's plenty of video essays, but no one really talks about robots. And from that I gather that this film was not as popular or not as good as the other films. But 5-year-old me loved it, so I'm going to see if I still do, or if this film is a piece of scrap. So yeah, I'm going to watch the film now, and I will let you know what I thought of it after I've seen it. Alright, I am back. I think my biggest worry was by far that this movie would be awful, and I just couldn't be able to stand it. But it wasn't. It was by no means great, but it wasn't terrible either. It was just a decent middle ground film. I would be lying if I said I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't as great as 5-year-old me thought, but I didn't really expect that. There were some jokes that I remember finding hilarious when I was 5 years old, but I just knew that I wouldn't find them funny anymore. I can't really say I'm disappointed by that. I fully expected it. The story is... It's okay. I think it has some important life lessons that every child should learn. The film is kind of about social classes, rich versus poor. Perhaps you could even see a point about race in there. But the main lesson of the film is equality. The morale of the film is kind of a bit on the nose, but I think in children's films that can be excused. I mean, the morale is literally said. It's literally the only quote I can remember from the film. Whether you're old parts, new parts or spare parts, you can shine whatever you're made from. I didn't expect Fender, who is the comic relief red robot, to be voiced by Robin Williams. I think in the Flemish version he was voiced by the same actor who voiced Donkey in Shrek. So I thought it would be more like that. But Robin Williams was a nice surprise. He's great, of course. And so was Ewan McGregor. He had an American accent again, and for the first time his accent didn't really put me on edge. It's not that his accents are bad, but it's just, I think it's because I know that he isn't supposed to sound like that I always listen for little errors. But I didn't have that really with this film, perhaps because I couldn't see his face, but yeah, I don't know. His accent was really good. But by far the best part about this film is the design. Every single robot is unique. Everything feels real, like you could actually make the robots. And I really like that. That's by far my favorite part of this film. I don't think it's a film I will revisit anytime soon, but I think if I ever have children, this is definitely a film I would show them. It has some funny jokes in there for adults as well, so it's definitely something you could watch with young children. So all in all, I am giving this film a 7 just because it is a nice, decent film. Not terrible, not great, just really standard, bang in the middle, good. Tomorrow I will be watching another animated film called Valiant. So do join me for that, and I will see you tomorrow.